Recently, Pastor Jonny Ardavanis of Stonebridge Bible Church uploaded a sermon to his YouTube channel in which he spent a huge portion of the 45-minute sermon just attacking Catholicism. Throughout the sermon, he discussed purgatory, justification, the sacraments, especially the Eucharist, all of which he completely misrepresented and presented falsehoods about the Catholic faith and Catholic teaching. Now, Sean Hiller, who is an online Catholic apologist, he's great. He has already responded to Pastor Jonny. He posted a video the other day presenting actual Catholic teaching on all of these things. So I'm not going to respond to Pastor Jonny in today's video, and I'll link to Sean's response in my description so you can check it out. Instead, I really bring this up to help illustrate a bigger problem that I often see with many Protestants when they talk about Catholicism. Oftentimes what I find is that for many Protestants, again, this is not all, but many, their entire perspective on Catholicism and on the Catholic Church has been informed by hearing non-Catholics, especially their pastors, talk about Catholicism and tell them what Catholic teaching is. And sadly, what this has led to is a huge number of Protestants who, frankly, don't actually know anything about Catholic teaching, but they think they do. They think they know things about the Catholic Church because of the falsehoods presented to them by their Protestant pastors and friends. I'm sure unknowingly presented to them. I'm sure their pastors, friends, whoever they hear these things from, I'm sure they're all well-intentioned. I'm not saying they are intentionally misleading people, but these are still falsehoods that are being presented. To name just a few of the absurdities that many Protestants wrongly assume the Catholic Church teaches, things like Catholics believe that we're saved by our works, or Catholics believe that the Pope is always infallible. Catholics worship Mary. Catholics believe Mary is divine. Catholics worship statues. Catholics re-sacrifice Christ at every Mass. Catholics don't really think the Bible is all that important. The Catholic Church teaches that, the Catholic Church teaches and practices the selling of indulgences. That indulgences are a way to buy a ticket to heaven, basically. That purgatory is a second chance at salvation. That Constantine started the Catholic Church. And there are many other ridiculous lies that people sadly believe about the Church. And, to anyone, if you've actually studied Catholic teaching and gone to actual Catholic sources for your information to learn about what the Church teaches and practices, then you know that all of the things that I just listed are not true. They're all false. It's very easy. It's very easy to read some random paragraph taken out of context from a church council and reach ridiculous conclusions about the church based on that. And sadly, that is exactly what Pastor Jonny did repeatedly throughout his sermon, just taking random paragraphs, sometimes just paraphrases, not even direct quotes from church councils, stripping them of all their context and reaching these absurd conclusions about Catholic teaching and about the Catholic Church. And the reality is that the Catholic Church has existed for 2,000 years. And the depth of its theology and of its teaching is literally inexhaustible. You could not get through it in your entire lifetime. And these simplistic caricatures of the Catholic Church, they're exposed as exactly that, as simplistic caricatures, when you just investigate the actual history and the actual teaching of the Church sincerely. So what I really want to say in today's video, it's not a very long video, but what I really want to say in today's video is this. If you want to know what the Catholic Church teaches and believes and practices, go to Catholic sources, right? Don't go to your pastor or other non-Catholic sources. Instead, read the Catechism of the Catholic Church. I mean, that's the best thing you can do. Like the church, we actually have a catechism. It's very, here, I have mine right here. We have a very large catechism that goes through everything we believe, everything we practice, why we believe these things, why we practice them, where they are in Scripture, all of those things. Read the catechism. Read other Catholic books on things that you want to learn about. Maybe you have some particular questions about, this Catholic teaching or that Catholic practice or whatever. Find a Catholic source on those things. Um, as I said, we have 2,000 years worth of material that you can investigate. So investigate why the Catholic Church says that it is the church that Jesus Christ established. You look to Catholic sources and objectively evaluate the evidence and arguments given in defense of Catholicism. Look at the history of the church and read the church fathers. Please read the church fathers, read the early church, and honestly evaluate what the early church looked like and what it believed in, what it taught. This is something that you would do, right, in any other scenario, right? If you wanted to know what a certain church or a certain religion believed in, this is what you would do. Like, think simply, for example, just think of Christianity more broadly. Like, if you were a non-Christian, just kind of to play out this hypothetical, if you were a non-Christian, maybe you are listening to this, I don't know, but a non-Christian who wanted to know what Christians believed in and wanted to know why they believed in those things, would you turn to atheist Richard Dawkins or Sam Harris, two primary voices in the new atheist movement who have routinely embarrassed themselves when talking about Christianity because of their incredibly poor understanding of it, right? If you wanted to know what Christianity was all about and what Christians believed in and why, you would not turn to sources who have an open agenda against Christianity and have no real understanding of it. You would turn to Christians, right? Someone maybe like a C.S. Lewis, who's probably most well-known in our modern age, who's a fantastic source on general theism and Christianity. You wouldn't turn to a new atheist type like Richard Dawkins or Sam Harris or Daniel Dennett or one of them. So why is it that so often when it comes to the Catholic Church, people settle for these silly caricatures that they hear about from random non-Catholic sources? The only thing that actually matters is the truth, right? Our only goal in life should be to know and live by the truth. That's all that matters. So all I would do is I would just invite any Protestants or non-Catholics who might be listening to this to simply apply that standard when you're looking at Catholicism. Is Catholicism true? That's the standard you should apply. Is it the church founded by Jesus Christ? Approach the evidence without your preconceived biases against the church, right? Without these preconceived notions you may have heard about Catholicism, and just look at the actual evidence, the actual claims that the church makes. Approach it with a heart and mind that simply wants to know the truth, and sincerely ask the Lord to lead you and guide you to the truth. Ask Jesus to guide you to his church. Now, I'm not saying that, this means you're 100% going to end up Catholic. That's not what I'm saying. Although I do believe with my whole heart and mind that the Catholic Church is the one true church founded by Jesus Christ. But, at the very least, you'll learn a lot, and you'll see that much of what you probably have heard or do hear from other people telling you about what Catholicism is and what Catholicism teaches is frankly just garbage. It just is. It's disappointing to see so many people fall for this stuff. And, this is what I did. This is how I became Catholic. And I was very blessed to be raised in a home where my parents, they didn't have all of these anti-Catholic biases and these falsehoods that they told me about the church. My dad and I both came into the Catholic Church a few years ago. The rest of my family is still Protestant, but this is how I became Catholic. I wanted to know what the truth was. I wanted to know, where is the church that Jesus Christ established? So it's much harder, and I think we can all agree, it's much harder to take the time to really look at what the church teaches, to really take the time to investigate those claims. It's much harder to do that. It's much easier to just go with whatever simplistic caricature you hear. But actually looking at the Catholic faith, going to Catholic sources, it's worth it, right? Because, again, we are in search of the truth, and the truth is worth everything. So I'm not a Catholic apologist. I am not claiming to be a Catholic apologist, and that's not really the point of this video or of this channel. But there are a tremendous number of great Catholic apologists. And you can begin learning about Catholicism simply by going to their YouTube channels, going to their podcasts, reading their books. So if I could recommend just a few that have helped me in my journey to Catholicism and that continue to help me in understanding my faith, I would recommend Trent Horn, who's a fantastic Catholic apologist with Catholic Answers. And Catholic Answers is a really great Catholic ministry. And you can go to their website, just Catholic.com, very, very easy to find. And you can look up anything you want to know about the Catholic Church. But yeah, I would recommend Trent Horn, anything he's written. Go to his YouTube channel, The Council of Trent. Joe Heschmeyer is another Catholic apologist. He has a channel, Shameless Popery. Jimmy Akin, another fantastic Catholic apologist. He has an awesome YouTube channel as well. I'll link to all these in the description. And then another channel that I would especially encourage you to check out if you are a Protestant is How to Be Christian. The host of that channel, his name is Ferris, and his whole channel is about showing how Catholic teaching is biblical. All of his videos are really just going through Scripture and showing how Catholic teaching is right out of Scripture. So I would encourage you to check out all of those, and there's many more great resources. I'll link to those in the description, and as well as I said, I'll link to Sean Hiller's response video to Pastor Jonny. And I hope that you found this video helpful, and I hope that you have an open mind and an open heart in your search for the truth. God bless.